Good evening and welcome to the legislative meeting of the Wilkinsburg School Board for the month of November 2022. Thank you for being here. We're going to start on the agenda after I get a couple announcement things out of the way. Let's do the roll call first. Mr. Liberto?
Mr. Donovan?
I'm here.
Ms. Garcia?
Here.
Ms. Thorpe?
Here.
Mr. Bossick?
Here.
Mr. Rose? Ms. Comans?
Here.
Ms. Rubenstraw?
Here.
Ms. Hood?
Here.
And Ms. Barker?
Here.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. That's 8 of 9, and I suspect Mr. Rose will be here. Let's see. So communications and correspondence. There are a couple things here.
Sorry, I'm trying to get out.
It's okay. Hi, Josh. So briefly, let me talk to you that I've been in touch with the, so last week, one day I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, I couldn't sleep. And I got up my iPad and I wrote down all the ideas I was having, and all the ideas centered around, we have to do something to get smoke detectors in the homes of all of our students, all of our families. And so the next morning, instead of relaxing after breakfast, reading the paper, I got on the phone. I called the Wilkinsburg Fire Department, who connected me with a person at the Pittsburgh Fire Department. And before I knew it, the chief was calling me at home to talk to me about this. In the meantime, I talked to the Red Cross because I found out a lot of things. If you simply call 311 in Pittsburgh, you get put on a list and they'll come and install a smoke detector for free. Smoke detectors for free, unless you rent. And then you have to, the Red Cross will come, they'll go anywhere, but the fire department in Pittsburgh will only come if you own your property. So that's why we needed to work with both of those entities. They were here today. I met with me and Dr. Joe, and we put together a schedule that would be ready for you all to see soon. Before Christmas, there will be assemblies, one for the pre-K kids with puppets, one for the K and grade 1, and then one over at Turner. And the 6th graders get a little more grown-up version of it, where they actually learn the new sort of CPR with no mouth, you know? So they're going to love that because they'll be separate from all the other kids. And then on December the 3rd or 4th, third. Oh yeah, you know about this. There's a, I don't know what to call it, a SWAT movement starting in the neighborhood where our kids lived, and fanning out from streets there. The plan is to knock on doors, ask people if they have smoke detectors. May we come in and install them for you? But we will get a jump on that by sending home information with our students so they can get an appointment. All right, so we'll want all the teachers to be talking this up as we get closer to it. The idea is to have this done, as much of this done as possible by Christmas, because of Christmas fires, and how dangerous that can be. So so I don't know, and this all comes at no cost. I thought it was going to have to do a big GoFundMe to raise the money to buy the smoke detectors and all that stuff. No, they're doing everything, and they'll make sure that the school district gets, I don't mean credit, but you know what I mean. Our name's going to be there as a sponsor of this effort. It's a good opportunity for the community to see we care and we're engaged. So so there's my report on that under communication. I was communicating. I thought I'd squeeze that in there. And there's something else exciting. I had 2 things to tell you. I can't remember what the other one was, so I'll save that for the end under the president's remarks. So, and next we would have public comments here. I would talk about public comments about agenda items, but I'm going to make an exception to that. Normally, this comment would have to wait until the end of the meeting, but Ms. Trice and a resident from, I already forgot your name, a resident from Layton Road across the street from Turner Field wanted to talk to us about what it's like to live there a little bit when we rent the field to the Wilkinsburg Athletic Association. So tell us your name and your address and your message, please.
My name is Judy Rodriguez. I live at 2000 Layton Road, and I've been a resident probably 30 years. And I put up with football since it came. Every year, it doesn't get any better. They take all of our parking, all the way from Layton at the school, all the way up Layton on both sides, up Winton, and they start early. If you're not parked by 5 o'clock, 4:30, people are coming home from work, they have no place to park. I've parked way up the street, and I can't do that anymore. I'm gonna be 70 or, and I'm just done. I'm done trying to make them better. They leave a mess. I clean up all the time. I'm the one that cleans up Layton. I used to go up on the other side of Layton and clean up every day. People could tell you that's what I've been doing. But now I can't. I'm tired of cleaning up that. And they even put at the door that they use 3 doors up from me for their put their things. And I put bags of trash there, trying to get them like, hey, wake up. They don't care. I've talked to them, I've gone out in the middle of the street, I've tried to talk to coaches. The coaches are doing things with the kids, but everybody else is just, and I mean, I'm getting a lot of things. I'm getting used condoms, and that's a big thing. I can't stand it. And just trash, clothes. I mean, they clean out their cars while they're waiting and just throw it all over the place. I mean, they've got everything. And I'm just tired of cleaning. I'm not like their mother. I told them I'm your other mother. You have to come over here and start straightening people out, and it still doesn't work. So that's what I have to say. But I would like to see them gone. Or they drop the kids off, they leave, but they come back and then, because then you start the talking too. Where across the street, if you're trying to go through, they're talking and then you can't get, they pull a car up
Yeah, I've
between
seen
two
that.
cars and you can't get past. So, I mean, it's all just a mess. And if you come down there every day after they come, and they come early, you guys let them come like the middle of summer. I mean, we're not even thinking football, we still got baseball. I mean, it's just out of hand. And I hate to complain that every time, but it's just, you come over and sit on my porch and look at it every day and try to find a parking spot, and it won't happen. So,
Thank you for
and it's the adults, not the kids. The kids are awesome. So,
So
that's all I have to say.
thanks for that, Ms. Rodriguez. So every one of us has seen or heard some aspect of what you're talking about before. And as I explained to you a couple minutes ago, we get a lot of pressure on the other side to work with the WAA, Women's Right Association, to make that field available. It's a public field, even though we own it. So there's a lot of pressure there. Please believe me, it's not that we don't try. It's even in their lease that they must have security, they must clean up, they must do these things, and they just don't do it. So we just have to get harder with that. I know our business managers are flooded with calls every season. So we just have to find some way to get them to work. I know Dr. Thorpe has been trying to work with them this year.
The gentleman, he was very kind, and he has mentioned that they do clean up. I have driven by a few times, but it's during the week. I don't drive by after a game, but it has been clean. There might be a few things here and there, but I don't know if it's from the team or is that just, drive by. The gentleman also mentioned that he will admit that after this yard was, I guess, mowed, that there were some things that they might not have picked up because people have thrown things in the bushes and they weren't able to see that. But he has said they cleaned up, but you live there, so you see it every day. But he does get the kids to clean up after each game.
Not alongside the road. May I say one more thing? When the guys that came from the school, the custodians came up, 3 of them, they had bags, the big black bags, they had 3 of them. They filled up at the end of the football season for them. Now, that was their trash.
Yeah.
And that's not counting the stuff that we pick up on our side. You go out there and all in front of our cars, there's everything right out there. You have to come after football to see it, or in the morning, first thing in the morning.
Do we want you to take some pictures? Do you have any pictures that you could?
I've got a picture, I can show you on my phone, just of what the trash they picked up.
Yeah, just so we have it, so we could actually talk to them and say, here's.
Yeah, maybe she could email it to one of us, so we have it that way.
Could she email it to me if that's possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Do
can
you-
transfer to them. You want me to mail you something? Or-
Well, do you want to email it or mail it?
Yeah, I could email it to somebody.
Okay, I'll give you the right email address. Okay, ready? This is what it's on. Thorpe, THORPE@WilkinsburgSchools.org. Now go to Dr. Juanita Thorpe across the room, and she's our liaison with youth programs.
Double T and double J?
Doesn't have to be, no, it can be lowercase. THORPE, right?
Yep.
Her email address.
Judy Rodriguez, I live at 2000 Lincoln Road. Right across the street.
No, you're welcome, thanks.
Thank you, Ms.
You're welcome.
Rodriguez.
We need to hear this. Mike,
This has been a problem for a while. I've advocated for us, the school district, to make it available to them. And I've said to them, this is not the first time. Many times over the past 4 years, you got to not make so much mess, and you can't be hanging around drinking beer and being
Oh, yeah.
stupid in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so, we've warned them. And I don't know what you guys think you want to do for next year, but they're on their own now in terms of what I'm concerned.
I understand.
They
Yeah.
don't- They haven't stood up.
And this is Mike Milberger, who organizes some other youth things for us during the summer. You may know him. And he has really worked hard to try to get them to behave. He has come to us and said, please give them one more chance. And even he says,
No.
give up.
I've gone down there and talked to them, oh, they last one day. And then I even get the beer and the whiskey bottles that are laying, and they drink the whole thing. They just party along with it. And it's the adults, it's not the kids.
Yeah.
If the kids could be bussed in, dropped off, and picked up.
we may have to work on something like that next year.
Because that would be better, busing and not having the parents in there or whoever.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Yep,
Thank you.
yep, thank you. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for allowing me to swerve like that. Okay, so right up front here, we have two motions to amend our agenda for this evening because of the 24-hour change. Board action is requested to amend the legislative agenda by item 13E to approve the revised schematic design for Kelly Primary School renovation as presented and to authorize the project architect to proceed with design development. This is only to change the agenda, not to approve that item.
So moved.
Second.
Owen, do we have a window? Or should I just
I'm gonna
do?
find out here in a second. Let's just-
Let's just do all in favor? Aye.
Ours messed up came up, so I should be able to vote.
Oh, okay, good, okay.
Oh.
We didn't know if it was gonna work.
Yeah,
I-
it just worked right when we
See
started.
if you got a window to vote.
I don't have it.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, is it tiny? Okay,
Hold on, just give it time,
okay.
because it's laggy.
I'll read the other one while we're at it. Board action is requested to amend the legislative agenda by adding item 7D concerning a collective bargaining agreement. Oh, we've got it done with the Wilkinsburg Education Support Professionals Association.
Okay.
This is only to change the agenda.
I'm still waiting for two people to vote.
Hey, I'm
Dennis and Tosh.
hey,
Yes, Mike,
Yes.
is one either.
Okay.
hey, I'm
Are
locked
you a
out
yes
of
also,
board
Don?
docs.
Okay. All right,
I'll
so,
move that.
okay, Debbie will move that. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, so the window will come up.
Hey guys, I'm locked out of board docs, but just put me as a yes. This is Michael. Can you guys hear me?
I'm a yes as well. It's open.
Oh, here it is. Sorry, I didn't see it. Oh,
Yep.
we're still in the mud.
It's coming.
Unfortunately, I can't see who's on there.
Yeah, I'll, just give me a
And I
second.
believe that my whole family is ill.
Oh, it's sick? Oh, okay.
They were gonna try, but I don't. believe so.
Okay, well, that's okay.
Hello,
So, yeah,
hello.
this room, all the hot air in this room blowing around.
I just need to get. Oh, yeah, he's on it.
Right here. Yeah, they're on.
Okay, all right, so are you gonna read yours anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see whose turn is it. Okay, we'll say Miss Barber. Which of our schools is closest to where you live? This is how we decide this every month.
Kelly.
Kelly goes first.
Our student of the month is Samir Struthers from Miss Mayhew's class in first grade. So Miss Mayhew wrote about Samir. Samir was chosen as the student of the month because he does a wonderful job throughout the day. I'm so happy to have him in my class. He is an example for many of the students to follow. He is working hard in reading class to read at a higher level. Samir is currently reading at a level D, and I have no doubt before the end of the grading period, he will reach his goal of reading at a level E, especially with the support of his parents as they are reading nightly with Samir and completing his Read Every Day homework block. In math, Samir is quick to complete his addition and subtraction equations. He has mastered the standard of sums up to 10 and has quickly moved to 20. He has also exceeded the current standard of counting and writing numbers to 50 and has moved on to 100. Samir has many friends in and out of the classroom. He is active in gym class and recess with his friends while playing basketball and football. Samir has a bright future ahead of him. If I don't see him on the TV playing basketball or football one day, I could see him making a speech as a presidential candidate. He has the support of his parents, and it is evident in all that Samir does. I am excited to be a part of Samir's continued education and working with his parents for further accomplishments this school year. Great job, Samir.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be. Samir, you can unmute.
Say thank you. Thank you.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you just can't see.
Is he muted again?
Samir, did you have Mrs. Carey last year?
Muted. Thank you. There's so much.
Yes. Oh, that was Mrs. Carey that popped up. You said, who was that? That said congratulations. That was Mrs. Carey.
Well, congratulations, Samir, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did he receive his prizes yet?
Yeah, they had a luncheon today. They did a little picnic inside. They got a little prize.
Good. All right. All right. Turner, the mighty Turner.
That's kind of a tough act to follow. I don't have quite as much to say, but my student, I'm going to speak first, and then Officer Boyce is going to speak because this student is also a safety patrol. So Romario Smith is a third grade student in Miss Gatos' class, and Miss Gatos said Romario has really stepped up this month. He has been trying really hard to do well, both his behavior and classwork. As he has seen more progress, he has also become much more relaxed throughout the day. Mario has such a handsome smile and awesome sense of humor. Great job, Romario. Keep up the good work. Love, Miss Gatos.
Aw, that's awesome.
Yeah. And now Officer Boyce wants to say a few words about Romario because Romario is also earned to be a safety patrol. And I do have a certificate in a little bag for him, but I'll give him tomorrow.
This is the same Romario I saw in your office.
This is our Romario. Yes, it
Awesome.
is.
So that's great.
Yes,
He's
he's doing great. Huge strides. Go
Definitely.
ahead, Officer Smith. Or Officer Smith.
And he's on the safety
Officer
patrol
Boyce.
too.
Yeah, he is. And he takes it very seriously.
Excuse me. How everybody doing?
Good.
I'm Officer Boyce. Romario and I have a history together. We both come from the Duquesne City School District. I've known him since he was in kindergarten over there. And he is a very special young man. The Safety Patrol program only allows students to be from the grade 4th to the 6th. He's in 3rd grade. I took him on because of his leadership that he showed. Last year, he showed me a lot with helping with the blessing bags. He's always wanted to help. He wants to work all the time. His classmates like him, and he's a real special kid. And as rare as it is, as a 3rd grade safety patroller, he's also a sergeant. I put him at the rank of sergeant. He enjoys that because you get to tell the other kids what to do. He kind of acts as my muscle. So he's a great kid. I know the family, and I think this kid's gonna go far. I really do think so, especially under my guidance. So if you're listening, Romario, congratulations, buddy, and I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you after the holiday. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Officer Boyce. That's great. Thank you.
Is Romario on or no?
We didn't think he was because the whole family was sick.
The whole family is sick.
Okay. I appreciate that, Officer Boyce.
Okay, so let's to get back to the agenda for a sec. Oh, I remember the other thing I want to tell you, but I'll save it. So we have Bill Cray. We're going to retitle this agenda item. So far for the last couple of months, it just says Bill Cray. I think we'll call it also our Kelly Construction Update, or give it a little more of a title, and then by Bill Cray. So welcome, Bill.
Good evening. Been at it for 90 days. And the good news is, I think we made some great progress last month with the staff input. And, if you think back, maybe that first 30 to 45 days was my time of getting to understand the building and the design. And remember, we shifted from that main core, the elevator and stair tower, and did some other tweaks in the building. But the exercise in the last 30 days has really been ensuring that, the revisions to be made to this building function, right? That actually perform the way you need them to perform. And the input that we got on that last session, I think were really powerful. I think there's a rational approach to every floor. And so if we could get through just a quick synopsis, and the takeaway from here is, hopefully you agree that the work done in the last 75 days is sufficient. I don't think, can you take it another step? Maybe, but at this stage, we got to get this design underway. And if you've got to sign off tonight on this, this would allow the architects to move to design development plans and complete those by the end of January. So if we could get the plans up on the screen. So these came in late this afternoon. Which one? The first one. No, I guess wrong. There's 3 renderings and there's this schematic plan. There you go. So go to that first page. So if you remember, the blue area at the bottom is the addition that includes the new offices and the stair tower. And pull back just a little bit and go to the second page. So this would be working from the lowest floor up. So some of the 2 of the biggest changes occurs at these 2 areas right here. One of the feedback was that, we've got the art function, we've got music, we've got the cafeteria, but what was lacking was, or one of the pieces that were sort of sitting out there and floating on one of the upper floors and interfering with, the distribution of the pre-K through 2 was the Spanish class. So it's been moved down. This used to be a storage area. And then we took some of that cafeteria and reconfigured it for the sensory room. So right now on that floor, you've got a cafeteria function, art, music, Spanish, and a sensory room. So that was one piece of that feedback, from the staff that we felt was pretty critical. Go to the next floor. So this is your main entrance. Again, this blue is the addition, right? That's your new hallway to your stairwell and elevator, the principal's office and meeting space. The big change here was, and you may not recall this, but this used to be, or is currently, your main hallway to that stairwell. And what we did was we evened off that corridor and moved the library, which was on the floor above, into that space. So now you've got your gymnasium, library, some guidance rooms. You get your STEM up on the top. Again, it's sort of rational and a cohesive flow. So go to the next floor. And we're stepping up now another 6 feet. So now we've got the pre-K and the kindergarten all on this floor. Again, we're infilling the old stairwell. And I think at this floor level, I don't have my numbers in front of me, we added one classroom to the kindergarten. I think that was one of the pieces that were added. But more importantly, it's on the next floor going up. This used to be the library, and now that's been moved over to the gymnasium. We've now have 5 first grade and 5 kindergarten classes. And then this is fitted out with some reading and some special ed functions. So, at the end of the day, I really think we've shaped this in a way that meets most of what was asked of the staff. So, any questions? Otherwise, I'd like to keep moving.
Just that a lot of these changes came from input from the people who were working in that building.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. Thanks, Bill.
Great input. I mean,
Yeah.
really worthwhile.
They're the ones who use it, so we're sitting pretty far.
Was this all the teachers or
Grade level representatives.
the
So,
representatives?
Yeah, so they had a grade level representative because we couldn't have everybody, so we wanted somebody that would represent each grade. And then they provided the input ahead of time to those grade level representatives. So everybody had input in it.
Okay.
We had parent input, because I'm brand new, so.
Good question. We haven't had parent input on it.
But at some point, we probably ought to have something and try to show the plans, at least to parents, and this is what they have to say before. Yeah, I think we should do something like that. An assembly, maybe as some sort of, maybe it could combine with the parent teacher organization, something that draw them, come see the new Kelly. I don't know. There might be a way to work on that.
I was going to ask just off of that question, I think, because from a parent perspective, I don't really know what all inside the school looks like, but pick up and drop off is crazy.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering if that's in the conversation of
So-
how that could be reconfigured, because at Kelly, we'll talk about Kelly, yeah.
So it did come up in the discussion with the staff, and then I was thinking about this morning. The one consultant we might want to retain is a traffic consultant to
Yes.
do a deeper study on the amount of existing traffic in and around the school, what peak traffic is generated with the drop off and pickup in the afternoons. I think we're doing that intuitively. I think we're trying to position some of those changes without real data in hand. And obviously, we're going to have to go to the borough for the site plan approval. That if we had a traffic study to back up, well, these are the adjustments to the site, and these are the things that we think will mitigate what currently is some challenges.
Yeah.
There's some the curb, the widening of that frontage has its challenges.
We talked about
Right?
widening.
Trees.
So I don't know how effective that is.
Right?
Pardon me?
We don't want to lose trees either.
You're right.
Like,
Yeah, so we talked about this a month or two ago. I think that's the.
You got
that's
slope
the challenge.
issues, you got a tree issue, and plus you still have all of that congestion. You have that lower parking lot that could be reconfigured and some of the staff parking adjusted so that you could continue to loop buses through there. The one more aggressive plan is the ball fields. Now that you've eliminated the trailers, is there some circulation pattern that you could get onto the site and queue on site and then pick up and leave? All of that, I think you need the traffic and civil engineer to do more analysis. That shouldn't stop, though, what you're doing here.
Yeah.
You can run tandem, analysis on the site, but I think the building configuration is about as good as you can get at this point without doing some other major addition that I'd really recommend not doing.
Okay, so we'll get on that. So we can quantify the traffic issue.
I would think so, yeah.
So let me do a little more work on the
Yeah,
traffic.
That's my own.
Get a proposal and come back to you on that.
And what's the impact to disabled students, like students that are like mobility impact, changes in the building?
mobility impact?
Yeah, like, anybody who's using mobility aids, what's the impact here from changing away from?
Elevator.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you dramatic improvement from what we're doing here. I mean, from the immediate, main entrance into the building, the widening of the corridor directly to an elevator, directly to a new stairwell that accesses every floor, right? You don't have to circulate deep into the building, which would have been the solution had you tried to manage the renovation of that main stairwell. And then, all of your bathrooms get upgraded, right, to be handicap accessible and available. So big impact.
And we're also changing the elevation externally, right? That's part of this plan. Because, again, going along with pickup is, some of the parents do use mobility aids to pick up. And right now, if you're picking up pre-K or kindergarten kids, you're having to go downstairs to get them.
I think that's one of those bigger discussions that, if that's the case, then you're bifurcating the two pickup areas, right? You've got a special drop-off with a accessibility, and then you've got the lower one that's going to take the majority of the flow that isn't necessarily accessible. Although you could, not you would. You'd go through the cafeteria to the elevator and you still have access.
Because at drop-off right now, the parents at drop-off, all grades are going in one way.
Right.
Pickup, pre-K and K, the elevation is down. So like
Right.
for the first grade, we're all standing on the top. And I know there are some parents and some caregivers, some guardians right now that have some difficulties getting down to that level to pick up the pre-K and the
Oh, that's
K
right, the
students.
steps. I didn't
Because
think
of
about
steps.
that. Yeah, because they come out of their classrooms. I climb over the fence when I don't.
Exactly.
Around. Yeah.
But there are many caregivers that use mobility aids and it's
They
not
can't do that.
accessible to them.
Going forward, though, you won't have the exit out of those doors.
Yeah, because
like
there'll
you
be
do
the
now. There'll be more control to that building.
Yeah.
So let's just table the whole exterior and access discussion. Let me come back to you with the traffic engineer proposal and talk with the architects too. So that's the plan review. Again, another component of this is authorizing. We sort of been spinning our wheels with the architect in this schematic design exercise, right? And they've churned about $120,000 of fees, and they ultimately get applied to that $700,000+ engagement. But it's time to move into a more detailed design and start tracking toward construction drawings, all right? Two quick updates. Back in October, you approved the geotech investigation. They completed the borings. I do have an initial draft. One of the things that's pending to finalize the geotech includes a grading plan, some existing foundations data, and some loads. So some of that gets triggered by the next level of design that they then can feed back to finalize the geotech. But there's enough information, right, that we've got the date. Don't see anything significant. The biggest risk is the underpinning of that first floor, the existing first floor where you're coming in to the existing office. That cut to construct the new stair tower and elevator are going to impact the subgrade of that foundation, but we'll get through that. Asbestos survey is in process, didn't get an update on it. I don't know if they've been through to sample. I hope they have.
I think they have been.
Yeah, I have, and I've asked several times what's going on there, but I hadn't gotten an update.
Yeah, we can check with that. Yeah.
So right now, the schedule I got today, at least from the architect side, is design development by the end of January. Building permit set submitted by May 25th. Bid packages, permit by the end of June sometime. Bid packages in July. Contract mid to late August, start in September of 2023. finish in January of 2026. That's your traditional contract methodology, right? Multiple primes, sort of what you experienced with Turner, okay?
You said September 23 to January 26, you're thinking?
Yeah.
That would be the traditional.
Yeah.
So
Not
let's,
2 years we did Turner. We didn't finish Turner.
and remember, we haven't gotten into how this thing gets phased and,
We haven't talked about cost yet.
we haven't gotten there. So, yeah, I'm getting there. It's going down my agenda list. So that's just a quick update from what I got from the architect today, all right? So what I am going to do based on this revised plan and at least the preliminary geotech, I will go out and we'll do one pricing exercise. I'm going to try to get it back by mid-January before your January meeting. My hunch is it's going to push toward the end of January with the holidays and just some of the backup and some of the bidding. I'm skeptical that I can get it by mid-January. So right now I'm targeting January 25th to have a schematic pricing, right? So again, this is real big picture macro pricing, but at least to give you an idea against the architect's number where you stand.
So that wouldn't be until our February board meeting that will actually.
Yeah,
talk about it.
I'm thinking that.
That's-
Right? Might get lucky and get it.
There can always be a special meeting just to talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which might dovetail into this next discussion, and that is, I circulated to Joe the GIZA, this is the Guaranteed Energy Savings Act approach to this. Remember, your traditional contracting is multiple primes. You know, you can't get a fixed price. You know, you're not sure of change orders and all of the challenges that come with it, right? The GIZA structure is, you know, we vet it through the request for qualifications. We pick a horse to run with, negotiate with them on a fee, and they basically take all of the contract pricing burden. You lock in a price and it's a no change. You're going, you're running, and they're taking that, the architect with them to finish the project. I'm not advocating one or the other right now. I'm just giving you options that I want you to, hopefully by your January meeting, you know, we release the request for qualifications in December. You get them back for January. You see the responses. Going to feed into some pricing as to the schematic. If we could huddle in late January, early February, and you make a decision as to you want to run with this GIZA approach or not, or stay the traditional bid process, and here's a number which we now have, right? The one thing that I think is going to play out from a scheduling standpoint is the GIZA structure may allow you to advance the schedule where you have to, through your traditional bidding process, have to go through this rigid phasing of the bidding and advertising the bidding, the contract, the start. GIZA, you're basically setting that structure up in the spring. They get their final drawings, they give you a final number. They can actually start the buyout and the pre-work possibly in June. So if you think about, you know, school ending next June, and you could do a demo package, they could do the environmental work. They might be able to release the elevator and stair tower work while there's still some other pieces floating around. They have the ability to maybe advance the schedule by at least 3 months and speed the process up. But let's see how this thing plays out. But I shared a draft RFQ. Look through it. Love to have comments and feedback, and you know, by December release that for solicitation. So I think I've hit all my big highlight points.
I'm literally,
That,
I'm still, I hate to be Debbie Downer or whatever, but, I don't.
We
I-
need
I
a
want-
Debbie Downer, go ahead.
Yeah, I know, and you would call me that, because people call me that my entire life, so. We have, tell me what it is that we are voting on tonight, and then what happens after that, because if we're voting on, I mean, I get we're voting on these schematics, right?
So
to
you're
have the
voting for
architects-
taking schematics into design development. You've already contracted for the services. You're locked into a contract with the architects.
Right.
Only thing you're doing is saying, as a collective body, we're okay with what we saw on the screen as an operational, as a functioning school, right?
Right.
So, you know, in 60 days, you're gonna have a more detailed drawing, right? Or detailed plans, and you'll have an estimate. And you'll have, you know, responses to this other contract approach. You could say, you know what, we don't go any further, and you will have spent probably another 150,000 to 200,000 with the architect. You've spent a couple more months with me, but at that point, you can close up shop and walk away. All right, or
Make it, okay.
or you can say, I will take it to the next step. Let's take it to the permit set. One path is to contract for the Giza approach. And then all of a sudden you now get this contracting body at the table, giving you more data, more information, more pricing, right? Or you can say, no, I want to go that way. I want to go to the traditional route, which we'll go through another pricing exercise before you bid it, final bidding. But all along the way, you can stop the train. It's just you're going deeper into your design services contract.
Okay, but we can also then, if, say, for example, they do that, they give us some estimates, and it's maybe $10 million more than what we have or can afford. Do we have time, or can we go back and say, okay,
Sure.
what can we afford to do out of this? These are our priorities for
Sure.
doing what we're doing.
That's the value engineering process. That's the scaling of the project you'd have to go
Okay.
through. Yeah.
But they'll be able to break out the cost for us by different pieces, so we
Yeah,
can see.
you'll have, you may not have it to the detail that you know, your plans haven't advanced to the point where you could drill down to specific categories. You got to advance the plans a little further to get that kind of detail. But you'll see in a big picture in the January, you know, your big items, the mechanical systems, you know, electrical, you know, your elevator, stair tower component. We'll know those costs. So I just be patient. You're not over committing at this point
That's
to
all we're
anything more than
making.
you're already committed to.
So
You've committed to a contract with your architect, and you're living out that contract.
If we were to get feedback from parents at this point, if we vote today and say that we approve this.
Yeah.
If we were to get feedback from parents, how does that fit into that process?
You can always shift
Yeah.
functions. You know, the building itself is like a Rubik's Cube, you know, right? What you can't afford to do is say, I'm going to add on to the cube. You know, I'm going to put
we want to
another
move the entrance
structure,
down below.
right? Yeah. I mean, you've pretty much played out every space in your building, right? So probably the feedback might be, I don't like this function on this floor and this area. Could it move to another spot, right? And it's just moving the chess pieces around the table. It's not a big change.
It could be a big change if the scheme that we just saw was teacher generated, user generated, you know what I mean? We'll have to weigh the wisdom of us tampering with that versus the people who actually use it. We'd need to understand both rationales, you know, before we do that.
Yeah.
But we're getting way ahead. But this sounds great, Bill. Any other questions for Bill? Ashley, did you have one? Okay. Anyone else? It still looks like planning in Jello, but I know it's not. And we're getting closer to being able to have those tangible things that we like. So
Yeah, information is key, right? And it's a process to gather accurate information. Just gotta be patient with it. We'll get there.
Thank you, Bill.
You bet.
Very much. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, we're going to take a detour now and ask Principal McClellan and Officer Boyce to come back on up and introduce this safety officer that I see across the room.
All right, let's try this one more time. Okay, Romario Smith is the student of the month at Turner, and Miss Gatos nominated you, so I'm going to read what she wrote, and then Officer Boyce has a few words to say, okay? All right, Romario has really stepped it up this month. He has been trying really hard to do well in both his behavior and classwork. As he has seen more progress, he has become more relaxed on a daily basis. Romario has such a handsome smile and an awesome sense of humor. Great job, Romario. Keep up the good work. Love, Miss Gatos.
Whoa.
So Miss Gatos. Okay, now Officer Boyce has a few words to say, so you can stay up here with him. All right, good job, buddy.
Yes, like I said before, this is a very unique, remarkable young man, third grader. Very rare that a third grader would be in the program. The program's geared between the fourth and sixth graders. This young man showed true leadership. As long as I've known him for several years. We been acquainted from our former school district. And I also like to say, also thanks to Dad. His father's been a very active parent at the school, and he's an active citizen here in Wilkinsburg. In the neighborhoods, he's very active. So we have to thank you also, Mr. Spence, for being a caring father and a caring citizen of Wilkinsburg. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So Romario, what made you want to be a safety officer?
That's my true dream.
I'm sorry?
That's my true dream.
Is it really? Really?
When
To keep people safe? Wow.
every day we out there on a daily basis in the cold.
They are too. It's freezing out there.
That whenever I battle in the morning, you all are good.
Mario, last year when I was visiting, you were in Mrs. McClellan's office. Were you keeping her safe in there the whole time? Okay. I hear you're doing much better this year. That's awesome.
Yep. Came a long way.
Yeah. Thank you for what you do.
Well,
Thank you for what you do for the kids and the staff in the mornings and afternoons.
And
Appreciate it.
if Officer Boyce respects you, that's all we need to hear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's a big help. He even tracked me down the building to see what he can help me with.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
he's always tracking me down, see if I need any help with anything.
That's amazing. Hey, Romario, happy Thanksgiving to you and congratulations.
There you go.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
Right, I just love it.
That's good.
Yes, it was. Yep. Okay, so, Mr. Milberger, at long last. Let's see, for slightly newer board members, Mike Milberger, he came to us about 6 or 7 years ago, said if we gave him some money, the borough would match that money and he would try to launch a summer youth program, some activities for kids in the summertime. We said, heck yeah, that sounded like a bargain. And so each year the borough, Mike comes up with a budget, the borough pays half, we pay half, and some really good things happen. There has been some decline, some ups and downs, but Mike's here to talk to us about that now.
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the Park and Recreation Board. There's 7 members in Wilkinsburg. 2 were appointed, myself Dr. Thorpe by the school district, and then 5 are appointed by the borough council. And we generally have responsibility for permitting and promoting recreation and park renovations around the borough. So we have kind of responsibility, some responsibility to the school district, and then mostly to the borough. I missed last month's meeting that I was scheduled. I apologize for that. It was a senior moment. I have no other excuse. But I do remember to pay my taxes, and all my school taxes are current. So I know that folks, that makes people very happy.
Thanks, Mike.
Rich, could you just put, we're gonna do, it'll be real quick. Just, there's photos there that aren't the word processing things. We'll just go from one to the.
Mike, are the other committee members that are appointed by the borough council, are they borough council members or are they?
No.
There's residents?
Yeah. Well, there may be one. There's usually one person that is on, but it's not all council members.
Okay.
It's just one, Mike McMullen, who was on our board,
Yeah.
and then he was elected to council. All right, some of the things we did this summer right here, this is a little cockeye picture. I'm not sure who took it. We'll, of course, always have our fire truck visit annually, and that's very well accepted by the kids and big fun. Next one, Rich. We also have visitors by the county mounted police officer, and it's always great fun. And we do invest in my expenses. I do expense carrots and apples because that's how we get to feed the horse. Next one. This one was from the Pitt Department of Biology. He was a nature biologist, and he brought skeletons of stuff and skins of stuff and shells of things to show the kids. And so this is just one picture there. I mean, there's a billion of them, but I just got either an item. Okay, next one. This was towards the end of the summer. We had a pizza party. Salvatore's Pizza donated all the pizza for that kind of stuff. So it's really, he's really a major league guy whenever we need something for the little league or anything.
We gotta send him a thank you note. I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah, because he
Okay.
donates the
We
pizzas
have
when
to-
he, like, Dante comes to the school to read. Yeah, they definitely send him
Yeah,
a
I
holiday
mean,
card.
I can't, I've collected money to do things, you know, for the little league and stuff. He won't take the money. Next one. Right there, this is from the outreach department, from the Department of Computer, the computer department at Carnegie Mellon University. Thank you very much. And so this is some kind of robot snake. The guy there in the purple shirt was showing the kids how to run. What's the next one? Right there, this is, as you can see, an octopus or something, but we showed them how, you know, robotics and those kind of things work. He's the same guy from CMU. Next one. Of course, we also like to have some fun. We have a slip and slide that we usually go through a couple every summer. Here's some kids enjoying that. Next one.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Is there another one, Rick?
That's it.
Huh?
That's it.
Yeah, okay. Could you put up the word process or the word perfect or I mean,
There's two. Which one?
Which one's the word? Oh, school district report fall 22. Right there. Okay, you guys have copies of this. All right. We decided this year to, because I was suspicious in the past of how much money we were spending. We have staff sitting around too much. They're just running a summer, later afternoon, early evening program. So it went for 8 weeks from 3 to 7 p.m. And our staff consisted of Joyce Thomas and Marcia Robinson, who are our crossing guards. And that's a gift to us. And that's a gift to the borough because they have their clearances. They are on the borough, you know, statistics, and they're already on getting paid, et cetera, et cetera. And you can't beat two grandmas for running stuff and stuff.
That is so good.
Because Joyce does not take any crap from
Yeah.
anybody. That's just what she is. So,
I
all
don't
right.
know, but is she at Kelly? Is
Huh?
that the one
Pardon
at
me?
Kelly?
She's out front of Kelly,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep,
so she lives right there.
yep.
Yeah, she
Okay.
lives in apartments over there. Okay, number 2. 39 days with only one rain day total. Attendance for the summer was 561. It's 15 a day. That's contact. That often will be the same kids.
Yeah.
Right, okay, because you do get a kind of cadre of kids that just love the 2 ladies. Special activities, again, CMU robotics, pit biology, outreach, ex-POGO, which are the POGO people from the community. They jump over bridges and stuff. We had an art class, fire truck visit. Alcosan has about 7 or 8 different programs that have to do with water and bubbles and specific gravity, stuff like this. It's all free. So
Yeah, they come to our school.
Pardon me?
They come to the school.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
spring.
So they're just major league people. Expenses, staffing, supplies, total is $6,000. Full-time, we usually run about 9,000, 10,000. So you're paying this year that your half of the 6,000 is about 2/3 of what we've paid for a full-time program. We've had 4 or 5 meetings between us and people from the school board and Denise Edwards, and as to what this stuff should take. We still haven't finalized exactly what it should have. We did do a little survey, but didn't get a whole bunch of responses from Kelly, Hannah. Yeah, we did get some responses from this. I did talk to both the counselor at Turner and Kelly about what our parents are interested in the summer. They don't know. We've never asked. So we may want to look after Thanksgiving, we may want to kind of look at doing some more, not just which parents respond, right? But to actively reach out to people to get, to parents to get a reply.
And to let them know it's happening. Because I like the time, because you figure when kids are going to camp, they're wrapped up by 3 and then they come back home and they're just running around with nothing really productive.
Yeah.
So for this to have that time of 3 to 7, it sounds like a
Yeah,
good second
I thought-
half of the day for the kids.
Yeah, I thought it was a winner. Can we bring up the next,
I just think like next year, if we could start that communicating with parents and surveying earlier, so that there's more time for you to analyze what they're, we always say it, but we really ought to start that in January or February, I
Yes.
think.
yeah,
You know?
we started, we didn't only get March or April.
Is that when you did it last year?
No, we met around March.
Oh, no, we
Yeah.
did meet, but we didn't do the one parent thing until right before school ended.
Getting out the information, promoting it, we need to
Right.
start
Yeah.
earlier. I have a
And-
question for you, Mike.
Yes, ma'am.
The people that, so the kids that show up, are a lot of them just like, they're walking there from home, or do they get dropped off and their parents are there part of the time, or drop them off, pick up, like,
Most
what's that
of the
like?
kids walk and walk with their parents.
most of them walk there?
Yeah.
And some walk with their parents
some
there?
walk with their
Do we have
parents.
parents that stay?
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I actually stopped by a few times and there was parents that were with the 2 crossing guards. They were watching very
Right.
closely, monitoring their kids.
Yeah, if we go back to some of those pictures, some of the adults in
Parents.
those are parents to this day.
And some of the parents, one parent, actually 2 parents when I went by, they were actually assisting too.
Yeah, it's kind of like pretty much a free for all, you know?
Mhm.
And you know, and again, we're focused around activities, a lot of board games. When I started this 7 years ago, what the heck did I know about, running summer rec? So I called the city recreation, same stuff as when everybody were kids, Play-Doh, coloring books, blah, 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 blah. I often buy Play-Doh by the case because, and the little kids tear it up. I mean, they just tear it up, and then, so that's big fun.
Mike, what are the ages of the kids that go?
Pardon me, ma'am?
What's the ages of the kids? I noticed there's,
5, I say 5 to 12, but probably 5 to 11. And that's it. It is 11 or 13, they're not doing, I mean, 12 or 13. But yeah, but sometimes younger, 4.
Okay, and the activities are kind of geared towards, because that's a big age.
Yeah, whatever they want to do. I mean, the ladies would have a different thing that they would push this stuff. We always have Play-Doh and drawing and sketching and paint and those kind of things. And then we would take different, the beanbag things. They would, the ladies decide which day they wanted to do that, and they would do that.
Okay.
In addition to, I also, well, we have some pictures about, not only do, for example, and then not only do we do the slip and slide, but I bought a round water sprinkler. And so the ladies will say, okay, Friday, Wednesdays and Fridays, we're gonna do water sprinkling, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's up to they decide.
Okay.
And they're pretty smart. This is the attendance that we've had. Of course, last year was fairly poor and because it was coming off of COVID. So we actually did better in attendance from last year and from running a that cost is too much. Did I type the wrong thing in there? It's 6058. Does it say 8 or 6? 6. Okay, right. So one of the reasons I brought this up to the board last January, February was that we spent too much money per kid, but that was the COVID year. So we've actually got more kids running a part-time program at 2/3 of the cost. So that's it.
The 6058 was our share, or that was the total cost.
This year, this summer.
This summer, that was our share was the 6058, or that was the total cost of the program. Our
That's
share
the
was
total cost of the program.
So okay.
Yours.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
Yours is 3029 that the borough should bill you for.
I see. Well.
Now, I've tried more and more to kind of get away from this. I'd probably put about half as much time into it this year.
Yeah,
And we may have to pay somebody to run it kind of in this position next year.
Yeah.
That's it.
I appreciate the work that you've put in. I appreciate you volunteering to help, get things in order. But please tell the 2 ladies too that, I'll see the one lady in the morning. She was there this summer?
Joyce?
Yeah.
Joyce or
Crossing
Marcia.
guard.
Marcia's shorter.
Okay.
Yeah, Joyce. Yeah.
All right.
And these are the paid employees that we have.
Yeah, those are your crossing guards or
Oh,
our
right, okay.
crossing guards.
I got it.
All of us.
Okay.
Mr. Mike, I have a question. So these, all the connections, like the activities that we had, were those that you set up? Did you reach out and like set all of those up or to staff?
It was, I of course had my contact list from previous years.
Okay.
And so it was half me and half Joyce.
It's a great activity.
Yeah, they're great.
Right.
That's, so I'm just saying, if we're gonna have somebody different, then you have a list that we could pass on to the next person
Absolutely.
and get them.
Absolutely. Yeah, Joan Antonori has all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I have a different list each year of what we put together. So yeah, so there was Joyce. Joyce actually got paid for more hours than Marcia because she actually did some scheduling of these types of things, which is stuff that I did before. And then we kind of worked together in the last half to set everything up and did everything advertised. I mean, I handled like all the advertising and contacts with the school district. Joyce didn't have a computer. Her computer was broke, so I had to step into that role. That's it about the school district. I try to say this once a year. Thank you for all your service to the borough, and I've seen in volunteer service. I've seen some great things happen with the school district. I do readings, and I've gone back to hear the kids' books readings at Kelly, and we have small classrooms. We have great teachers. When I look at 30 people in a classroom at a Catholic grade school that I went to with one nun, and I see
That was a small class.
Huh?
And that was a small class.
Yeah, it was a small class, and I see the kind of things that our kids are exposed to in terms of people coming in, blah, 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 blah. We've come a long way, and I appreciate it. And if a kid's not learning in this district now, it's because the parents don't want them to learn. That's it.
You know, we're recording this, but okay.
Yeah. So thank you. I just want to thank you all. And that's the name of it.
So Mike,
Thanks
you,
again,
Mike,
Mike.
you referred
Appreciate
to, you referred to Alcosan as major league people. Well, you're the major league people in our book. None of this would happen starting back 8 years ago without you. Really, none of it would have happened without you. So thank you very much. We talk all the time about getting a proclamation or a plaque or something like that and having a Mike Milberger night, and we still never get around to it, but we will. We will.
I'll talk to Dante.
Make it pizza, make it pizza.
And we'll have Salvatore's.
There you go. Thanks for your time, Mike. Appreciate it.
Rick, can we have just that, so we have that data on, this year handout and
That's good.
that data on our attachments?
To the minutes?
Yes.
Well, didn't we have a
Well,
copy of
put it on
it?
the agenda.
Oh, I
Yeah, I'll
see.
put it up, yeah, it's on Mike's thumb drive.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
Yeah, we got a paper copy of it, but you want.
No, he's
to
talking about the other. she's talking
Yeah.
about the
Oh, the other sheet, okay, okay.
Can you
okay.
send that other stuff to us?
Pardon
Mike?
And the other.
I can email them to everyone.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
I mean,
Okay.
just so we
Yeah.
have that attendance and things like
Right.
that, so we
Yeah,
know.
and then
Yeah.
give it to me and I'll put it on our board docs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
thanks,
be
Mike. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
Part of
so,
the minutes.
pardon me?
I'll make it part of the minutes.
Right.
Yes.
I hope that everybody had a chance to review the legal report from the solicitor. Mr. Hoffman, do you have anything you would add to that?
Not this evening, thank you.
All right, okay. But we will hopefully be looking at some of the fruits of your work coming up a little while, known as Westbus. So where are we going here? Let's see. Dr. Joe, do you have anything to add to the superintendent's report?
Just a couple things. We've had about 16 applicants for the Director of Human Resources. We narrowed it down to about 6 or 7. We went through 5 interviews. We got a couple more lined up over the next week or two. I want to thank, right now, I have Ms. Stephanie McKissick, Director of Human Resources, Quaker Valley, has been participating in all of them as well. And Dr. Sue Mariani, Superintendent at Duquesne City School District, also participating in those interviews. And so we got a wide range of people with different thoughts and ideas. So it's been going pretty well, some good applicants, but we still got to work out some kinks here and there. So hopefully by December would be great at the board meeting. So we'll see. Also, I want to thank, I don't know who else went down. I know Mr. Donovan went down to Thanksgiving lunch last week in Mrs. Winter's room. She did a Thanksgiving lunch in their autistic and emotional support room. I wasn't able to attend, so I was kind of glad.
All right, so since you brought it up, that was the second thing I wanted to tell y'all about. She also brought over Mrs. Mazzaro, the autism support classroom teacher from Kelly. She brought her students over. So it was about maybe 20 altogether. And Deb, you will remember when we pushed to start our own autism support classrooms because we were sending so many kids out. And it wasn't about saving money, but it turned out that we did save a lot of money. But it was about that we thought we could do a better job for our kids at home in our district. What I saw was absolutely incredible. I mean, it was just the love and the concern and the care and the teachers and the aides knowing every student's name, even the ones at the other school. I mean, I was knocked out. I have to tell you, if you had walked in there and you weren't really proud of what we're doing here, you're probably on the wrong board or on the wrong kind of board because it was incredible. And the range of the students there, it was just phenomenal to see all the different types of students and different abilities and the teachers and the aides adapting so perfectly and smoothly to every one of them. It really was impressive. I went for a little lunch and I stayed for about 2.5 hours because I just couldn't leave from talking to the kids and trying to be engaged with stuff like that. So they are at Turner, it's Miss Winter, and the aides are called, they go by their initials, so the kids can call them. So Mr. G, Ms. Lee, and Mr. Bill are the aides, the 3 classroom aides at Turner. And at Kelly, it's Mrs. Mazzaris, and the 3 aides are Ms. Stevens. Oh, they use last names. Ms. Stevens, Ms. Ewing, and Ms. Babbage. Ms. Babbage is almost, I think she's getting ready to student teach. She's already, she's an aide who's been working on her degree, and she absolutely wants to teach in Wilkinsburg. And I met another aide, another paraprofessional who's working on her teaching degree. So this new thing that we have coming up, hopefully about tuition reimbursement for these folks, is going to be right on time. So I just want to tell you that I was so glad to be invited because it was great, just great. You'd be really proud.
To go shopping for the stuff.
Yes, right. She took them shopping at Walmart to buy the stuffing, and then they came back and made it for stuffing from scratch, things like that. No, it was great. All right, yeah. I'm sorry.
No. We just a reminder, we do have a vaccination clinic tomorrow. There is a pre-registration. You don't have to pre-register, but it kind of helps to get some numbers. But there is a vaccination clinic tomorrow from 3:30 to 5:30 at Turner again. So we did put it out there. We're just not getting a lot of registrations.
We keep getting the text messages as.
I was hammering with text messages.
Part of the problem though is you actually have to like copy and paste the link, like from the text.
Wasn't
So
work.
it's
Maybe that was the problem.
kinda-
That's
can't click
okay.
it.
People can show up tomorrow. You
Okay.
don't have to pre-register. It was just in case we wanted to order, like, get some number of food and things like that, like snacks and so on. So you don't have to pre-register. I didn't notice it because I was trying to pull it up my phone and I was like, but thanks for letting us know. So, I want to thank the chamber. Last week I got to speak at the chamber breakfast. That was the first one they had since 2019. It went really, really well. I did not know that many people in the community did not know about some of the things that the board has been doing for the last 6 years and the district's been doing for the last 6 years. They did not know about all the magnet programs. They did not know about the Pittsburgh Promise. They didn't know about our Spanish program. So I got people that want to come visit Turner. We are going to do a site visit from Pastor Pastor Janet. So they'll be bringing some people through in January. I'll be with them, and we also are going to we have a plan December 8th, I think, for a cyber charter parochial school. Just a collaborative effort. We may feed them that night, keep trying and plugging away at it. But it went really well, made some good contacts, and I want to thank Jermaine came just in case I had tech issues, but I didn't need him, so he got a free breakfast, and so did Summer. So it went pretty well. And the last thing was, and again, just to reiterate what Mr. Donovan said, we did have a great meeting today with Fire Chief Daryl Jones, who's been around a long time and doing some good stuff in Aliquippa and the city. And I thought it was a tremendous idea. I really did. And today validated everything that we may be doing that day. We will be looking for volunteers from the staff, from board, anybody who wants to participate on that December 3rd, 1 to 4, to go in and help install some fire alarms. But I thought it was a tremendous idea, and just how it just came together today and was great.
They will do a training in the morning for how to use a power drill, how to install. I mean, depending on what you want to do. Do you want to be the knocker or the asker or the literature person, or that use the power drill to install the smoke detector? So they'll have training in the morning for the various roles.
Yeah, they put them in each bedroom or just one
In the
bedroom?
morning.
They're actually,
Hall?
he said something that to go to code, it would be each bedroom and each floor. They really only have enough to do each floor, but they place them strategically outside bedrooms. I mean, but they don't, it doesn't really meet that strict
I'll
code.
show you how to use it.
December 3rd is what they're saying is our.
That's
the
not
morning.
on my calendar.
We
We
don't
don't
have
have we don't have an invite yet.
Yeah.
We need an invite.
Yeah, no, but if we're gonna stick with that date, yeah. Because Dr. Joe was thinking about moving it. Yeah, we'll talk about that date, but we still have that one marked down. We'll probably do that. But we'd be free in the afternoon. So.
Part of our retreat can be how to operate a.
Indeed, we can do that.
Yep.
Okay, let's see,
Can
I
I
think,
just add a comment real quick
yes.
about the Chamber of Commerce, the breakfast? So, Denny was there, I was there as well, from the board, but I just wanted to say it was a really nice event. There was a lot of people there, very well attended. And it was great that so much of the school, what we're doing, it was presented. Joe did a really nice job. There were a lot of comments afterwards, people saying, wow, even John Irwin, who is like socialite in Wilkinsburg. I mean, and he was like, in fact, there was things I didn't even know about the schools, so he was commenting how he learned a few things. But I just think it was a great opportunity for our school to be showcased, and there were so many people, like I said, Senator Costa was there as well.
Well, I've never met before. Yeah.
Right, and so
She introduced me to him. I didn't know that.
yeah, so that was a great opportunity, for networking, just getting what we're doing, how great things are going out into the community. People were really impressed. People had questions. I mean, I didn't even realize it was gonna be like a Q&A, but people wanted to ask questions after he was done. Like they, people don't know things such as just the fact that like Kelly is, pre-K through
first.
Restructure that we did, yeah, people
People are still,
I
don't know
say-
that to this day. They don't know there's a lot of.
I did not know it until last year.
We pay every month for a page in the Sun. Kelly fills it with information.
Nobody
And
reads
we
the sign.
blitzed it when we did that redistricting thing, and
And it's not a criticism, I'm just saying, the more we can have opportunities like that, it's great. I mean, and I know John Irwin said that you had told him that you weren't a speaker, and he's like, I think he was a little nervous, but he
yeah.
did fine. So anyways, he did a great job. I just wanted to say that. I think it was a good opportunity, and I would like to see more of that, because again, getting the word out, what we're doing here is so important. I was also at a meeting, same thing, where people were in the community that just weren't aware of what's happening, that we're renovating Kelly, things like that. So the more opportunities we can find to get the word out, I think the better. And so thank you for doing that, for being willing to do that. And then also if we can, encourage, like that was tough because it was a weekday morning, but, encourage as much as possible. If you can be at those type of things, it's good to be there.
And if anything comes up your way and I need to be there for something, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be there. I appreciate everybody showing up, but I think it validated what this board has done and I tried to do that on a day, what the accomplishments, and you saw today with the audit, of course, and things are going, but everything that over the last 6-7 years, and some tough decisions. And I talked about that. I'm sure there were some tough decisions when I wasn't around.
I wish we had chronicled
but in the end, it was.
I could do
feel good about it.
I wish
I
we,
could do that.
I wish
I have all the emails.
yeah, we could make a documentary,
Yeah, we could.
but no one would watch it, and no one would listen.
We could turn it into a comedy if we wanted.
Yeah, right, exactly.
There's a lot, yeah.
But you did a great job, I have to say. And, just going around for campaigning and helping people run for the school board and stuff, it's unbelievable the ignorance in our community as far as the schools. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So hopefully it's getting better, but I don't know. So many people just don't know.
Well, it takes a long time.
Yeah, it
was
does.
a long
It
time that
does.
it was bad,
Yes.
and so to say 6 years we've been doing good, it's great, but it's going to take 30 years for people to really see that this school
You're
district
right.
is
No,
doing
that's true.
much
That's
better.
true.
But
that's why this was a good thing.
yeah, and I think that
Very
for
good
all
thing.
of us as board members, no matter where you're at, like I talk about work all the time, even on Facebook, like I told you, even on Facebook, because people don't know. They're like, oh, you all, no, we don't. It's not true. So.
You have the highest taxes in the worst schools.
Well, the more that we bring people into the schools and to see the things, and I think you're seeing that more parent activities and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that then the word spreads, right?
Yes.
So we need to start with our parents.
Yeah.
Yes, because they're the ones that can go out and spread the word that when good things are going on in the district. So the more we can get them in there, you have to feed them. That's what I
Of course it is. You always have to feed them.
Oh, I did
Did you mention?
that. There wasn't, we have school dance too Friday. The kids loved it and the parents
Was it?
were
School dance.
excited. The parents were
Or the
excited.
PBIS dance.
What day was that?
Friday evening.
I missed that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it was for Turner.
I know,
Okay,
I
with the sixth graders, yeah.
You could have invited school board
Third
members.
or
We like to
fourth, fifth, and
dance too.
sixth.
Yeah, I would have been a chaperone.
So it turned out really well. The
That's
kids were
good.
well behaved.
It did it. I'm sorry, Joe.
The DJ, she was tremendous, like keeping the kids in order.
We got
but-
pictures of that?
Yeah.
I didn't know about it.
Well,
Okay.
it
We
didn't-
didn't know about it till the last minute either. This was an inside
So,
thing with PBIS.
That sounds like a spring dance for the kids, y'all.
Well,
Just to
that-
say.
But
the
we have to
reason-
get better at that.
Yeah, I could send
The
some.
reason we didn't know is that it didn't make it to that WSD board calendar. You would have had a notice about it. So we have to figure out who can post things there. We don't have any designated we can all post things there, but we're not the right ones. Building principals maybe ought to be able to post things on that calendar. If you logged into WSD mail, you can click on the calendar there and see everything. I said, if you're logged into WSD mail and you go up to the little dots and you click calendar, you'll see a calendar with all our board stuff that somebody entered. It
Yeah,
won't
but
have
that
everything.
and that probably wasn't in there because I didn't find out the last minute.
It wasn't there.
It wasn't.
And Kelly's get a lot of stuff out too. That's why it surprised me when it's, when we go to the chamber, there's like people still curious, but there is tons of stuff going out, so.
Okay.
Just gotta stay on them. We just
Are
gotta
they
stay on 'em.
planning to do the Christmas? They used to be like a little Christmas evening.
The light up literacy night, yeah. So those are on the calendar. Those are on the calendar.
Have we posted anything yet about that or?
After Thanksgiving.
after Thanksgiving.
On what
One's,
calendar?
one's December 15th and one's December 8th,
13th.
the board
13th.
calendar.
I'll tell you now if they're on ours. Let me see.
Should be.
Oh,
What are the dates?
13th and 15th.
I will,
13th and 15th, oh wait, wrong month.
yeah, we won't be here, okay?
As
No,
long as it goes out like.
they're not here.
Right
Should be
after
on there.
Thanksgiving.
They're not. This is the WSD board calendar. So,
People already are making a lot of plans. No, I know.
see, our meeting, I don't know why. Our meeting, our Friday meetings are on here, Joe.
I just sent an invite.
But that didn't make it there.
I don't know what.
So we
Yeah,
need,
Sarah.
pardon me?
It's on mine. I don't know why that's not
Are
showing.
you-
up.
is
So
that-
we'll have to address that.
No, is this did you get to this by
Mhm.
WSD? You're kidding.
Mhm.
All
So
right.
we'll just have to figure
Something's
that out.
not right. Something's not feeding over. Jermaine said he had this all. We'll talk to Jermaine.
Yeah, they're both on there, so I'll have to figure
Okay,
out
okay.
what's not going on.
Maybe you can just, I'll drop you a note to remind you. You can tell Jermaine, like,
Yeah.
make it work.
No, I'll-
Thank you. All right, okay, so anything else, Joe?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Debbie, finance report.
Yeah, I didn't do a written report, but let me just, say that we did meet, last, Tuesday. We, reviewed all the board action items that were going to be on this agenda for approval. We reviewed the financial reports, which are really on target with the budget. We probably, there was really nothing to be concerned about this year with our expenses or our revenues. We talked about the real estate appeals, the letter from Matt's office. We talked about the audit, that there were no findings. We reviewed the management letter recommendations and addressed all of those issues. And then we, of course, met with the auditors here this evening. And they reviewed the audit with us. And that's about it. I mean, things are going well. We want to get deeper. We want to get into doing some 5-year projections. If I keep saying about numbers, it's because we're going to need whatever those numbers are to make sure that in our 5-year projections, we can see where we're going. When this ESSER money goes away, we want to be able to afford what we're doing.
And it was 5-year projections, if you go back, by Dan Matzook and Phil Martell, such as he was, that helped us see black and white. We could not afford to keep a high school
That's right.
anymore. You know, it was gonna drag the whole district down. Aside from the fact that what we were doing there was immoral, but it was also unsustainable. So those 5-year projections are really important to us, for us to see. All right, thank you, Deb. We can move into, any finance questions for Deb? All right, so the minutes, let me see. Board action is requested to approve the minutes from the October 25th legislative meeting. Let's vote, shall we? Me no window. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Me as well, yes.
Can you hit me? Yes,
Should be in now.
please?
I added you. Yeah, I can't again. Okay.
Right, Taj wants to, yes.
Yeah. Dennis, you're yes?
Yes.
Motion passed.
So that motion passes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we can move into section 6, instructional staff. Dr. Malushnik.
Board action request to approve Laura Cole and Darren Cole for unpaid leave day on December 22nd, 2022.
I'll second. Any discussion on that? Sorry, I have not been opening for discussion, but no one here is shy enough to withhold a question.
Dennis?
Yes, I'm sorry. It's just not coming up.
Motion passed.
Okay, so why are some people blinking? Oh, no, I see, when it stops flashing, that means they voted?
Yep.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Let's see, okay, Dr. Joe, FMLA.
Board actions request to approve an FMLA for Lisa Fortier, a 4th grade teacher, effective January 3rd, 2023 through February 17th, 2023.
I'll second. Don't tempt me. Any discussion on this?
Yes.
Motion passed.
That motion passes. Moving right along into section 7, non-instructional staff. Dr. Malishnik. We have a resignation.
Board action request to approve the resignation of Shalina Snell, pre-K lunch aide, effective October 26, 2022.
I'll second. Discussion, what happened?
I'm sure.
Oh, right, okay, we talked about this last week. I'm sorry. That happens so often, I forget which ones. Okay,
Yeah, talking with the other school districts, they're feeling the same pain.
Yeah, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Just, they don't show up to interviews, they don't show up to jobs.
well, we didn't address wages for pre-K lunch aides, did we? This is still under discussion.
That's a separate entity. They're not part of that contract.
Okay.
Isn't that because they're paid out of like a grant or something?
Well, they are paid out of a grant, but they're just not part of the bargaining unit.
So we could address that if we wanted to on our own, just arbitrarily.
Yeah, I think we just upped it from
We did just,
1250.
yeah, we did just up it somewhat, but maybe we have to, it'd be interesting to talk to some of these folks to find out why did they leave? Would they have stayed if it was paid $2 an hour more? I don't know.
What's the current rate?
1350.
What would be parity with the other aides? Is there a gap?
19 something.
19 something going up to 22 over a period of 3 years. It goes to 22, which by the way, did I tell you last week?
Those aides have to have 60 college credits.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the pre-K ones don't.
Right, they're 3.5 hours a day.
Right,
You gotta watch it because then you run out of room in that grant for teachers.
right.
So
Yeah.
their shift is only 3 hours a day.
3.5.
Oh.
I can see why you have turnover though.
But for some folks, you know, that might be all they want
I would
to
have thought they were in there much longer the way Belly got.
do. You know, it's just lunchtime, you know, so.
I think it hurts 10 hours.
Well, yeah,
No.
lunch is important to her because.
We might have to adjust how we use our interview questions as far as, why do they want to work here? If they really just want, because the answer needs to be, well, I just want some part-time work because I'm available in the mornings, you know what I mean? And versus somebody who's, I want to broaden my horizons, I want to, one of those typical answers. We just need.
I want to be on the school board because I love children.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that's.
I was about to say, somebody said that.
Tosh needs to vote? Okay. Okay, couldn't help that. Okay, we have a new hire.
Yeah, board action is requested to approve the hiring of Laura Sparling as a teacher assistant at Turner Intermediate at a rate of $18.04 an hour.
We skipped Kelly Hollinger, item B.
Oh, I'm sorry. Board action requested to approve the hiring of Kelly Hollinger as a pre-K lunch aide at $13.50 an hour, effective date to be determined.
Yes.
So moved.
Second, how come?
I think I would like to have a conversation about how we can at least get it to 15 an hour. I don't know. That's a money question, budget question, all of that, but.
Well, we'd have to talk with Summer because like I said, it's a grant. It's
Yeah,
limited, so.
whoever got to talk numbers, I don't know, but inflation's real.
That's right.
Turkey,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving shopping's wild, so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how you can find out what some comparables are from other districts, but we could just, next month, just decide. Yeah, next month, just decide we're gonna do it to $15 and that's.
Teachers, like assistant could do, I don't know.
Showing
just
you
for
the pipeline for that role
It was just for
to
pre-K.
a role
I'm sure you
as
could
being
go
an
on Indeed
aide.
and type in
If they,
job-
yeah, if they're interested, if
job
they're even
title,
interested, but
all
that
these
aid
kids
requires 60
show up
credits.
all these
Well, and then that's the
jobs,
thing, so if we're not doing it by
organizations, so.
hourly rate, is there other incentives that we can provide that would also make it worthwhile?
Yeah.
Because if those 3.5 hours count towards something, is that another way to like entice people that would be interested in that?
Yeah.
What is the actual schedule for that?
It's lunchtime.
Yeah.
So I'm
happening.
gonna say, I don't know, what is
Probably
that?
11 to
8:30,
One.
something like that to 1:30 somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to hold another job with that.
That's what I
And if
mean.
you do get
yeah.
another job for $15 an hour, it's
Or
really
you're
gonna
working
leave.
overnight,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Did we vote on this?
Yeah.
Me.
I'll have that conversation.
You're a yes.
Yeah, I'm just curious, yeah.
Just, I'll vote yes, just tell me.
You need to be like.
Okay.
Okay, item C.
Hold on
But
a
that's-
second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
With sickness,
Yeah, no.
older people don't wanna be in there with germs.
I am.
Take them home with a cough.
Board action
Every
requested.
day. Both my kids are home today,
Yes.
since Friday.
I,
Unbelievable.
no.
To approve the hiring of Laura Sparling as a teacher assistant at Turner Intermediate at a rate of $18.04. And all other terms of the current CBA effective December 5th,
So moved.
2022.
So moved.
Second.
She was on, I don't know if she got off though.
Oh, was she
She
on?
was been on since 7.
Oh, we was talking. It's
You're-
8:30 and here we are on number 7.
Maybe we should bump those hires up to earlier on the agenda when, oops, what did I do? I lost everything. here.
Lost them somewhere.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
she got off, Joe.
Oh, did she? That was the young lady I met.
Okay,
Wait, I'm still waiting
Okay.
for Michael. Oh, Michael's a yes. Okay, we're good.
that motion passes. Welcome, Laura Sparling.
Welcome.
We look forward to meeting you. All right, board action is requested to approve the collective bargaining agreement with the Wilkinsburg Education Support Professionals Association with a term retroactively commencing July 1, 2022 and ending on June 30,
3,026.
2026. Okay. that-
That's gotta be.
Well, I don't
tried to
think-
take care of you for a long
I
time.
I don't think I'll be here.
I want to see that. report.
I am not going to negotiate that next one. Given that there's a correction to be made there, I'll second it.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
Who made the motion?
I did. I moved it.
Okay, who's second?
I read it and I moved it. There's no second
I'll
yet.
second.
Oh, Ashley second. Any questions?
I have a question. There's another thing to look at to approve. I'd like to see the contract that we're actually approving.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did-
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
Oh, okay.
The association is preparing the contracts. We got a draft of one. There's 2 contracts that comprise this. The terms are that the bargaining unit voted on are the same terms that I presented to you last week. So it's up to you folks if you want to table this till December. That's your option.
Yeah.
I alerted the association that in light of your question, Deb, earlier today, that, there may be a preference.
I'm not sure how to do this, but I'm asking for a motion that we table this until next month. They knew we were voting tonight. They could have had it here. So is this how we do it? I ask for a motion to table? All right.
I
So
move that
is there a
we-
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll take this up in December.
Who made the motion?
Ed, made the motion.
I
Oh,
second.
sorry, Rick.
And Debbie second.
So what do I do? I just don't vote on this at all.
X out.
Do we X out?
I'll
Yeah.
just close the voting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Deb, I saw your note today. I thought I wrote back to Matt and said, hey, did they know about this? They know we're voting tonight, so, no, there's no reason why we should
No,
do
I
that.
saw
I-
Matt's response that he didn't have one, and I said, I have a hard time voting for something
Yeah,
that
I
I can't.
saw
have
that.
read."
Yeah.
Even though it's been reviewed with us, because we have had this happen to us before, where
Yep.
there's just something in that contract that maybe we didn't
Yep.
see or catch,
Yep.
so.
Okay, so we have committee reports that I agree entirely. Joint Tax Committee, guess what? Did it meet?
No.
No, Joint Tax Committee did not meet, so there's no report. Forbes Road East update, Michael Rose.
I presented last week. I'll have,
Oh, that's right, you did.
first, next month, I'll have another one for
Okay.
November.
Right, there is something about the moons and the moon and the stars and the planets alignment, because Deb does not have a finance report this month, but I do have a written Eastern Area Schools report for the first time ever. So there's something going on here. I don't know what it is, but so you can look at it. I forget what's in it. It was an interesting meeting. It went on for a long time, didn't it, Dennis? Way longer than the half an hour that they promised me. I don't have it. Let's see. If you have it there, you can read it. It was an interesting meeting and you can read it. All right. No, I don't need to pull it up, Rick. Thank you. I just wanted to note that it's there. There is a written report. The treasurer's report, Mr. Bosick, section 9.
Board action is requested to ratify and confirm the November 2022 general fund payments of $1,741,054.76. Wire transfers for $493,527.52, and capital fund payments in the amount of $63,515. The following report for October 31, 2022 will be made a matter of record for the minutes. Cash, profit and loss in the balance sheet.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. I have something. So we're sticking to only listing cash, profit and loss in the balance sheet as attachments, but we're back up to having 6 of them here. So should we change that, Rick? It says the following reports will be made part of the minutes. Right. For a while there, we only had these 3 reports, but now we're back up to 6. Should we list them all up here or not?
Those are the actual
No,
dollar
those are
amounts
the
that are above.
expenditures.
Oh, I get it. It's for the other things. Thank you. So it's 3 and 3. I get it. Okay. All right, I get it. So that's it. Any other discussion?
I only have a question as like a new person. We already talked about, this is what we talked about last week, right? I just want to make sure that
Yes.
what I'm seeing and what I think it is what it actually is. Okay, that's it.
Okay, any other discussions? Okay, here we go. Here we are.
Motion passed.
That motion passes. Moving right along to facilities and transportation. We have a travel request report. Mr. Liberto.
Board action is requested to approve all staff professional development and field trip activities listed on the travel investment activities report for November 2022 at a cost of $1,250 to be paid from the general fund. See attached.
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion? It reflects the weather over the weekend. This is the travel activities report for November. If
What's
you notice the
Princess
spelling of
Lanes?
it. Pardon me?
What's Princess Lanes? That's what's on the thing, Princess Lanes, activity.
I think, is that a? That's what I was
That's
thinking.
bowling, I
Bowling.
think.
Where's that at?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
exactly
that's bowling.
Where they went last year too. I think
First
kindergarten might have gone last year.
Yeah, I just saw pre-K. So I was
First
like, where is
question.
that?
Pre-K bowling. Gee.
Right.
That would make sense.
I don't think I saw that.
Ashley.
Yes, I'm trying to get back to.
I'll
I don't
just
know
vote,
what
go
to
ahead.
say. Yeah, but yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much. Section 11, finance. Rick.
Board action is requested to adopt the school real property taxes limited to the index resolution as presented. This resolution certifies that the Board of School Directors will limit any school district tax increase for the 2023-2024 school year to the index as calculated by the Pennsylvania Department of Education of 5.5%.
The hell we will.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion on this? All right, we can vote.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passes. And one more for you, Rick.
Board action is requested to authorize the administration to participate in the Allegheny Intermediate Unit Joint Purchasing Program for paper supplies, electricity, gasoline, and diesel fuel, natural gas, and all other items approved by the Joint Purchasing Board may be added.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion on this? All right. Hearing none. Let's vote.
Guessing we're getting like a big discount because it's like involved.
42 districts participate.
Yeah.
Is this all the stuff that you can use this particular venue for ordering stuff? You know, as far as what you're listing here, is that?
There's more, that's the caveat at the end, any other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I
usually
see.
use it for electricity, gas, and paper.
Okay.
And uno mas.
Dennis, you yes?
Yes.
Okay. Last one. Board action is requested to authorize the Wilkinsburg Board of School District to require the school district's tax collector to waive additional charges for real estate taxes on the taxpayer request
a waiver of additional charges due to a failure to receive tax notice when the taxpayer's property or mobile home is purchased within the prior 12 months.
So moved.
I'm not sure what that is, but I'll second
I was
it.
about to say, did we discuss it last week?
We discussed it at finance and we discussed it, last week. This has to do with it's a requirement that, it gives basically first-time home buyers, if you just bought a property, you get 1 year, a waiver of fees saying you didn't pay your property taxes on time.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
It's sort of silly because the act basically establishes that right, yet they require you to pass a resolution.
Yeah.
Oh, this reminds me of something else.
It does.
Why are we voting on this? Oh, the good old days. Okay. So, I didn't vote yet? Okay. That's okay. I'll tell you when the recording's off.
Yeah.
Okay, Rick, and then we'll just move into policy and planning, and you have a couple right there. We're gonna get water. Anybody want water?
Yes, for me.
I did hear. Board action is requested to approve the second reading of policy 610, purchases subject to bid.
So moved.
Second.
So I just have one question. Ed's not here to say for discussion. We made the changes that Matt recommended to this to make it more generic because that base changes every year. But we also took out, if it is not possible to obtain 3 quotations, what we had to do. Were we supposed to take that out? Because,
Well, there was a statute that, when you say quotations or bids, there was a statute passed this summer relative to bidding that indicated if you solicited bids and didn't get any, that you had to solicit bids a second time. And if you didn't get any then you could go out and negotiate the purchase. I don't have the policy in front of me. I don't know
what it says, if it is not possible to obtain 3 quotations, a memorandum must be kept on
Oh,
file
okay.
showing that fewer than 3 qualified vendors exist in the market area. The written price quotations, written records of telephonic price quotations and memoranda shall be kept on file for 3 years.
That should remain.
That's what I thought, and I was surprised to see that that was taken out. So I would recommend
Just add
that
that
we
back in.
approve this
Yeah.
if we put that back in.
Yeah, we do. Have to read it again. But then describe what would be amended.
Unless we want to just make the change and do it again next month.
The purpose of having a second reading is to allow you to make a change.
Yeah, so we should just make it now.
Just make it.
Thank you, Matt.
So I'll just unstrike it.
Yes.
Then does the vote count? If we,
yeah.
Okay, fine, great. I hate to waste a vote. All right. And,
Nobody voted yet.
oh, well, that's why I hate to waste them.
You abstained.
Me? I didn't abstain.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a yes. I was just clicking away at something. I don't know what it was. I thought I saw, I saw.
You gotta change your vote.
Yeah.
There you
It keeps changing back to abstain.
I'm not doing
You might be
anything.
hitting something down.
You might be
I'm
hitting
not,
down there.
no, I'm not.
No, it's.
Wait, let me see, escape or something? I don't know. I'm not doing anything.
Okay. Well, I'll change it in a minute.
Maybe I'll be abstaining on everything from now on. Maybe we'll just have to get used to that.
That another one?
Yes.
I don't need another
Ed's on a
abstainer.
roll.
I'm just gonna be known as the abstainer. Kenny Rogers will write a song, The Abstainer. Doesn't he write songs with names like that? Is that who does that, Kenny Rogers? What?
Yes, you did.
Oh, is he? I'm sorry. Rest in peace, Kenny Rogers. All right, okay. So we're up. Rick, are we finished with the policies?
No. Board
Let's
action.
get through them, shall we?
Board action is requested to approve the second reading of policy 611, purchases budgeted.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Okay. Let the voting commence. Yes. No, I distinctly voted yes.
Did yes, no? Motion passed.
All right. Motion passes. So we move on to policy 625.
Board action is requested to approve the second reading of policy 625 procurement.
So moved.
I'll second.
What does this one do?
This is using card.
Okay.
Try to limit that use of it.
Motion passed.
Motion passes. We can move now into section 13, board governance and board resolutions. Rick, we have the Mount Oliver non-pubs.
Board action is requested to approve an agreement with Mount Oliver IU2 to provide Title I remedial reading and math instructional services at Sacred Heart for an amount not to exceed $8,287.20. Monty Christian Academy at a cost not to exceed $49,723.20, and St. Benedict Moore at a cost not to exceed $2,762.40. Total cost not to exceed $60,772.80. Furthermore, Mount Oliver IU will provide parent involvement services at Sacred Heart at a cost not to exceed $84, Amani Christian at a cost not to exceed $502, and St. Benedict the Moore at a cost not to exceed $28. Total cost not to exceed $614 to be paid for from Title I funds effective for the 22-23 school year.
So moved.
I'll second. Michael, wake up.
I'm
Kid, it was such a long resolution. That's all I meant. Oh, I tried. Okay. I wouldn't blame anybody who fell asleep during that. Yes. All right. Right, we're almost to
They're not,
who did it?
Amanda and Juanita.
Amanda and Juanita.
Yeah, I was just trying to read things. I'm trying to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all.
You were trying to read it?
Yes.
It's really like long.
Yeah.
That's why I said, wait, Michael, wake up.
Yeah, I think we're gonna abstain.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand with it. So they're gonna help us with remedial math and reading?
No, when we receive Title I funds from the federal government, we're obligated to share that with non-public schools, prorated by how many students they have or what services they need and stuff like that. We've already voted on some of these earlier this year, or there will be some others coming up, but Title I funds come to the public school but all students are entitled to it.
Oh.
So we have to share that with non-public schools.
Okay.
And that's what this is.
And mine's a yes.
Yeah.
And it's a formula that, so whatever it is that they tell us we have to pay out of Title I, that's what we have to pay.
We didn't make
one of
these
those
all
things
amounts
that we have to do, but we have to vote on it anyway. Exactly.
Yes, it's that.
There's a lot of that going around.
There is, yes.
Juanita, can you
Did it
read
pass?
that vote?
Oh, there's like to be a change vote option up at the top that might,
I've never used
there
that.
you go.
Oh, maybe I
Thank
should
you.
use it.
That might be what you have.
That might be what I had to do, right? All right, item B, uniform donation. Dr. Malushnik.
Board action is requested to accept the donation of uniforms for all students grade K through 6 from GFS Market and the Lewis family and other donors. Donations will be set up through Donors Choose. Donations will be valued at approximately $25 to $30 per uniform.
So moved, Ed.
Second, Dennis.
Discussion on this?
Are they purchasing the uniforms and like giving them, or are the families to purchase the uniforms with that price?
We're going to be purchasing because we're going to get the sizes of the
Right,
kids.
okay,
Yep.
that's what I was.
And those are shirts only, right?
Yeah.
No, shirts and pants.
Shirts and pants, okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get the shirt and the pants are MIA, so we're waiting to see the quality of pants. And then we'll decide if that's better.
Awesome.
Motion passed.
That motion passes. Hey, Kel, can you draft something to, a thank you note to them for us?
Yes, actually, I picked up probably 200 thank you notes from the students for the shoe carnival.
Oh, wow.
So those are going to be sent out. I was gonna try to overnight them, but, for Thanksgiving, but it'll get there like Friday.
Okay, right. When I was at Turner Friday, Miss Tucker was calling students down who had the wrong size and going through a big box trying to get them the right size. And kids were spilling over into offices, pulling on shoes and taking, it was hysterical, but they were so excited. Pardon me?
Did that happen today?
No, last Friday.
Oh, last Friday.
Yeah.
Did pre-K get?
I mean, kids were absent, whatever, you know what I mean? But Miss Tucker was great with them about it.
She didn't bring it home though.
Okay.
I saw her pick 'em up. She came right to me.
Did that pass?
She saw me and she
Yeah,
held my
we'll
hand
wait for
and
next
I got her.
Okay, Dr. Malushko, security cameras.
They didn't make it home.
Okay, she got them.
Board actions requested to approve the purchase and installation of additional cameras for the administration building and Kelly Primary per attached proposal at a cost not to exceed $12,168 to be paid for from the 2022-2023 PCCD grant.
So moved, Ed.
Will this include what we just discussed when I walked in today? This entrance so that you all can see who you're opening the door to when it's dark outside? Because we can't see who
This-
you're opening that door to.
This doesn't have the cameras. We would have to do something with the thing there. Now, we can see.
Well, I was
who's-
saying like if there's a camera put out there.
Oh,
and
no,
there's
we do have a
something you
camera
see.
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do have a camera.
But we just can't see down here.
Yeah, like we could see here. So if I'm in my computer, actually, if I'm now, I can pull up and see who's coming in.
Okay, I just think we should probably just check that because.
Yeah, you can't see out those doors.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should have something, because when the bell's ringing out there and we're just walking out, we
We
can't
can't see who it
who we're
is.
letting
So we
in.
would have to change probably the door.
Put a monitor somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, put a monitor, yeah.
Because I don't.
There's a monitor in the room here that you can see who's at the door.
There's not a camera on that bell.
There's a camera out there, but what they're saying is when you go to
I
the
see
door,
what
you
you're-
can't see. So the only way you'd be able to tell is if you pulled up on your screen on the
Okay.
computer.
And I just don't trust people. at
But we
this
don't
point.
have.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
good idea to have, a monitor right there on the wall. We can just look and see who.
Yeah, it's a great idea, actually. If we could have a little monitor right there so you can see who's outside the door.
They have that on the phones.
I don't know, maybe it's the dark again,
So
but
maybe
I haven't
you
been
could
in
get
here
to
since,
the phone after it's
yeah.
on.
Whatever, but if it could be on, or it could be right on the wall there, if it's a phone,
It's
then
the
it would be,
The ladies.
it wouldn't even need wiring, you know what I
It
mean?
has the screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
So Jermaine
something like a cheap like a cheap tablet, so it's a large enough image to see.
Y'all gotta
I
get
like
a
that.
ring.
Good,
Get a
Ashley.
ring.
We can get monitors.
And this is just for the cameras, right?
Yeah.
Just-
No, it's for installation.
And installation, yeah, it's the whole.
Yeah. Okay, item D, TransPerfect, Dr. Malushnik.
Board action request to approve the contract renewal with TransPerfect Telephone Interpretation Services effective February 2023 through February 10, 2024 at a cost of 95 cents per minute and an annual fee of $120. And video translation services, including ASL, and are also available to consortium members at a rate of $3.25 per minute to be paid for from the general fund.
So moved.
I have a question.
Discussion?
Yeah, just curious, do we, do we have a number of how many or English as a second language students that we have? Like, do we have
That's a great question. 6.
Six, okay. I've just been
Because that'll
curious. I've
be,
been peeping, the neighborhood, and so
that'll be a
that made me
topic of
wonder.
future discussion, actually.
I feel like it's growing.
We may, could be Duquesne. I was just out Duquesne at 660. But we may want to consider down the road, one of our new hires may get certified, so we don't have to contract out anymore.
Okay.
Because contracting out just financially, it doesn't make sense for 6 kids.
We can bring someone in.
Have we asked those that are actually using the service, like how it's working for them? Like, is there any way to like?
Yeah, they get it actually tested regularly, and that information is given back to the families as well. And then Ms. Moss has been following up on that stuff too as well. And they may test out of it. We just had a student test out of it. So.
But the service itself,
Yeah.
how do you like this service? Like, what is there anything about it? Like using it that's
She evaluates
difficult
it.
for
I don't,
you?
Yeah, she evaluates it from her end of things and. you
But
know,
no, like,
It's typically not great.
yeah,
I mean, there are a lot of these providers and
Yeah.
they're typically not great. There might be one that really rises to the top. I don't know about this one. I used to know this stuff, but,
but if we know how it's bad,
Yeah,
then we
yeah.
can look at.
Well, I can't say I can't say it's bad. We've been
Yeah.
contracting with the AIU and I haven't heard anything bad from it.
Right.
I haven't heard anything bad.
But in terms of like the students actually using it, like,
What, the TransPerfect?
We're talking
or-
about two different
Are we talking
things.
about two different things?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you talking about TransPerfect or are you talking about?
You're talking about the
ESL?
translation service.
Yes. the
He's talking
service.
about an ESL.
Oh, yes, we definitely need the service, yeah, for sure.
No, I know, but like, who's using it? Are we actually talking to who's using this?
Oh, the
translation
parents
service?
and the students?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay, I thought you were talking about ESL.
No, not the ESL program. No, I'm talking about TransPerfect. Like, do we know,
Yes.
like, have the parents like said to us, like, this
This
is an
isn't
issue I'm
working or this
having?
Oh,
Yeah.
we've got no complaints using TransPerfect.
Are they actually saying it's good?
They're not saying it's bad, I mean,
Okay.
they're using it.
No, I'm just concerned because like, whenever there's like a barrier and we're saying like, oh, we're providing this to get past this barrier.
This is the
Sometimes people
common,
aren't using it at all.
this is the one that everyone is using because it's probably the best.
And I think what
They
Amanda's
have to
saying
use
is,
it.
are we
We
getting
have
any
for special-
feedback from
I
the
know.
people who are using it to see if they are happy with it?
So if I'm somebody who doesn't speak this language and I'm using this tool, I'm using it because it's the only way I have to communicate.
Yeah.
And so maybe there's a way that it operates that is not beneficial to me. Like there's some barrier I still experience because the tool is not functioning optimally. So my question is, have we asked those parents that use this tool, is there a problem?
We can,
It wouldn't-
I don't know if we have.
Yeah, it sounds like we haven't because there hasn't been an issue brought up for
Yeah.
those who are
But if
using
they
it.
don't speak English,
It wouldn't
well,
be-
they would have to use this tool to report
It
that
wouldn't,
problem.
it
Well,
wouldn't
they
be hard
could
to.
use the tool to say, hey, this is not working.
But if that part doesn't work on the tool, you see what I'm saying?
I would
So, like,
assume what we find out if we have a student that we're not.
It wouldn't be hard
I
to
would
find.
hope so. Yeah, I mean, even with someone who doesn't speak English, they will try to communicate if they're having issues using the translation.
I would
I'll
hope
check
so.
into it.
Yeah, that's all
I'll
I'm
check
saying.
into
I agree we should have this, we should do it, but I'm just saying like, right, I mean, like, it's sometimes a lot easier when you do have a barrier, a communication barrier, you find ways of
Yes.
adapting to it and getting around it, and you don't always report that this tool doesn't work. So if this tool doesn't work, maybe we should shop for a different tool. You know what I mean?
Well, we're
That's
about
all
to
I'm
get
saying.
rid of the tool is what we just
Right.
discussed though, right? We want to move to having an
No,
actual.
separate thing.
That's ESL.
That's it.
Oh, yeah,
That's
we're on
ESL.
two
teaching.
different
See,
conversations.
Yeah.
I
So that's
asked that
why-
question thinking of this though, because that's what,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, so I'm approving this, but what I'm saying is like, let's make sure it
Yeah, we
works
could
the
check
way
into
we
that.
want it to work.
It won't be hard because it is very, very, very seldom used, if at all.
Well,
Rick
and that's
says-
my problem with it too, is that it's seldom used, is it not being used because it's not working?
Well, no, because we don't have that many
We don't even have that
ESL
many.
students. That's very low number of ESL students.
We have this because we're required to have
But I
it.
understand what you're
Because it's
saying.
so low, there's only 6 people to just call.
You
I
want
get it,
full
but
participation, and if this is a barrier to full participation, then we need to know that.
Yeah.
There's only one way to know that, is if we get outside the tool and ask them directly.
Like I said, it won't be hard because
Yeah, we can
it's
ask that.
it's seldom used. It won't be hard to
Usually-
ask the people who use it.
There's no problem.
This
I
would
don't
be
know
like
how
if
it
a family
functions, but I know-
needs to contact the school. Like, can you give an example of when a family might use this?
Registration.
So it's not like every day we're using this, it's rare. There's only we only have 6 students right now, but it's just, yeah, if a family calls because they need to get their student registered or something, then.
this is for
This is-
district
It's
communication,
just,
not
yeah, to
classroom.
translate, so we don't
This
have to
is-
call our Spanish teacher saying, hey,
Yes.
we have a family that wants to register.
This
Or
is the
like
school
parent-teacher
nurse.
conference, would a parent-teacher conference
Yes,
do
parent
use
teacher
this?
conference. There you
Right.
go. Yep.
So even if we only talked to the teachers that have used it, we could
Mhm.
say like, hey, have any of your parents experienced a problem? Like, I'm not saying we have. to
Usually, I'll
formally
be honest,
evaluate
usually
it,
that
just-
would come back to us through because we've also used our Spanish teacher. And we haven't gotten that back through the Spanish teacher either. So that's why we haven't followed up with it because we haven't had any issues or problems with it, but we can.
Yeah.
We can.
Amanda, we can use something like this in my office, and usually the families that use it are upfront and will say to me, that's not what I said, this isn't good. And they don't mind telling us. and then we use other means, but they usually will tell you if it is not working.
Yeah, I'd just be curious to see, out of the 6, are they all using it? Are we relying more on the Spanish teacher? That kind of thing. Just an idea
No,
of what
I can
it's
do
like.
that.
Yeah.
The nice thing about it that I learned was it's also not just Spanish, so
Yeah.
it's all
It's
any language.
all languages.
Oh,
Yeah.
We
Well,
can't hire
I'm
somebody in
assuming that it's
Spanish,
also
so
like,
one's gonna keep wild, no other
ASL
language.
too?
Yeah.
Is
Yes,
it's
it says it right in the motion.
But I can check and I can probably have that information for you for next week when we meet. Board action is requested to approve the revised schematic design for Kelly Primary School renovation as presented and authorize the project architect to proceed with the design development.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I just want to say that I'd like to see some parent input, something, I don't know what, but I'd be happy to work with whoever to see that if we could show this to parents, get some parent feedback. Again, I'm approving it because, you know.
I thought we already said we were gonna do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think
I just want to say it again, that's all, just
Yeah.
reiterate.
Motion passes.
that motion passes. That's it, eh? All right, we have no absent board members to excuse, so could I have a motion to adjourn?
And I got a comment I want to make before, I'm sorry, so sorry, but it's
Yes.
really quick. It's more so just like some, because I've been watching the news. I just recently saw them do a report. I think I was watching WPXI, but it was a report about charter school enrollment increasing. And what, and this is kind of something, Kelly, that it just made me think of a lot of the things that we've been talking about, but the narrative that they used when they shared about charter school enrollment increasing was that due to the pandemic, parents have been more engaged in their students' learning. And so because of that, they're choosing charter schools over local public schools. And I guess, as I always talk about, like with Ed and to just other people, charter schools also have, like huge $1 million marketing budgets. And so school districts like ours do not. And so I just wanted to share that kind of narrative is being just put out there in that way, that charter schools are doing better than our public schools. And I just don't think that's a blanket statement that we want to just let, fester out here. So just reiterating how we can continue to communicate, how we are doing better. We looked at a whole spreadsheet last week talking about that.
Put that as a handout last week too.
Right. I just want us to be really proactive on that because we just also discussed today that people still aren't aware of all of the good changes we've made here. And so the news is also picking up stories to just have a 20-second read, because I guess there's slow news days around here, to just push that narrative, and it just didn't sit well with me, so I wanted to share that tonight.
Listen, I'll be willing to do anything. I don't care. I watched years ago, John Oliver did a thing about charter schools. A charter school can close in the middle of the week. I mean, like, just be defunct, not even there anymore. Like, they lose their license, it's over with. You have all kinds of teachers not accredited working there and stuff like that. Man, please.
And by the way,
I hear you, but to the point, that's not what they're saying. So people who don't know that aren't just aware. And so how do we proactively, as a school district, working to make these improvements, put it out there, because we can't say it like that.
Let's engage the parents.
You can, but the district can't.
I mean, as a
Very much so. Yeah, parent involvement is important, but also like the way how we're communicating. Like, great, we show pictures of the good things happening, but let's also like be more, creative. And I said that last week too, just when we were talking about the test scores. Like, parent involvement is always key, but also we've got a PR person, we've got, professionals doing things. That's a part of it. It's not a one-armed, answer.
One of the things that that was briefly mentioned, we were having an open house. We had that, I don't know, a month or so ago.
Mhm.
But typically that's supposed to be for the parents, right? The current families that are in the school. But a lot of these charter schools, what they do is they have like an open house for the community to come in to visit the schools to see it. And I think that we need to do that, yeah, because have like a community night.
That's what we're doing on the 8th.
Great.
And you figure the pandemic happened, so we did do that.
We just met today.
Okay. So that's good, yeah, because I thought, that's what I was like, I thought we had talked
No,
about
because you
doing that.
mentioned it before, but we
Yeah.
looking at the timeline of Thanksgiving, we just couldn't get it in.
Because it's it's important, we have to get it, if we don't get it done before the end of the year, then it's pointless, because people already have registered for the charter
Yeah.
schools or, filled out applications and all that. So we need to do that now, but I think at that community meeting, we definitely could give out show what
Yeah.
you showed, the comparison, the school building, explain that, what our school building score is, and how we compare it to other local charter schools. But I think that would be a good, to have that information as well as updates about Kelly, like all of that stuff. But even if we maybe in the future think about doing, especially until we get the parent groups, the PTA or whatever we're gonna call it, up and running, even if we're doing like a quarterly community meeting, come and learn about our schools, come and hear about our schools,
Yeah.
parents, family, community members,
And the kids
whoever.
giving the message themselves, right? If you have some kind of meeting and a kid gets up and says, I love going to school.
Yeah.
That's really impactful to a parent to see kids that like going, especially, again, like, parents of disabled students, knowing that students are accepted there, students are getting these resources there.
Even if we
Not
could do
only
a few
that,
videos.
but they,
if it's a
what
stu-
parents
students,
want to
like,
see
we got some
are well-behaved, articulate kids. Because that's what your kids are gonna be bringing home. That's what you were really paying private school for, is to go to school with these kids whose parents are highly educated, whose kids are coming to school with a big vocabulary. That's what you know what I mean? That's what we really have to put forward. That little kid, what was his name?
The one here tonight?
Romario?
Romario.
Yeah, Romario.
Remember the one.
Oh, yeah, Romario, you know what I mean? That's like our big, selling point right there. That kid is everything that we want.
I'll tell you, as a parent of a disabled student, knowing that the class size is gonna be that small, no matter what happens, that's incredible. And the kind of attention that he gets, individualized attention without me having to go out and like really work to get that.
Who's this teacher?
This year he's in Molly Ward's class.
We didn't have those problems at Manchester.
My kid's in the first grade, harassing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we can, I'm sorry, I definitely took us down we could finish our
It's a good conversation.
adjournment.
No, that's good. So we had a motion to adjourn out there,
Second.
okay?
We didn't do too
Is there a
bad.
window for it, or we just say it?
I'll just vote unanimously.
Okay, so yeah, all in favor? Aye.
And Kelly, I keep forgetting to put the meeting back on our calendars, but I'm gonna put it back
We're
on
gonna-
there, same,
Executive session real quick?
recurring.
I do need, I just do need a 10-minute execucle session.
We gonna get this
I won't be long. Dr. Thorpe gave me the evil eye.
So, but the audit really took